As you take a look at the 2020 Los Angeles Rams draft selections, you can see it was pretty much even across both sides of the ball. The Rams selected 4 offensive players, 4 defensive players, and a kicker in Sam Sloman out of Miami of Ohio. Edge rusher Terrell Lewis has tremendous ability, and if he can stay healthy, he may end up being much better as a pro than he was as a collegian. To me, getting Tremaine Ankrum out of Clemson, a guard, in round 7 was a big-time steal. Now, what I liked most about the Rams draft was continuing to reload their offensive weaponry with running back Cam Akers, wide receiver Van Jefferson, and tight end Bryson Hopkins. Akers' game reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara and what he brings to the table on both ends of offense. Van Jefferson is one of the best route runners in the class, which is beneficial as a receiver because those guys tend to always find themselves open a lot out there on the field. He's also coming off of a week work at the Senior Bowl. And tight end Bryson Hopkins gives them another H-back flex type option at tight end that can create instant mismatches for defenders. Some teams struggle to find one good tight end. The Rams now have 3 with Hopkins, Tyler Higbee, and Gerald Everett. Getting safety Terrell Burgess out of Utah was another impressive pick for the Rams. Burgess graded out as our top combo safety, meaning he can play either safety spot while also having the ability to match up at corner if need be. He gives the Rams another versatile defender on the back end. And I'm a fan of Clay Johnston's game out of Baylor, and if it wasn't for him coming off of an injury, he would have gone much higher in the draft. He's got really good speed and acceleration, which makes him a great blitzer, and he plays fast all game long. I feel like the Rams got themselves a steal with Johnston. The Rams really cleaned up in the undrafted free agent department. Wide receiver Ernest Edwards from Maine is a big play waiting to happen. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands, and it doesn't matter if it's as a receiver, a runner, or a kickoff or punt returner. J.J. Koski out of Cal Poly is what you would classify as a football player. He's got a really good repertoire of route running skills with consistent hands and top-level explosiveness. He shows a lot of polish despite coming out of an option offense. Brandon Polk was a grad transfer from Penn State who made the most of his opportunities at James Madison, becoming one of the best game-breaking threats in the FCS. He was used in a variety of ways: the touch-pass game, end arounds, and in the return game. He could be used in the same manner with the Rams because of his tremendous speed. Quarterback Bryce Perkins from Virginia made huge strides from his junior to senior season. He doesn't shy away from pressure and does a great job of just finding a way to be productive. He could be a good developmental quarterback for head coach Sean McVay. Cole Cabral from Arizona State moved from left tackle to center as a senior, so he still has some upside potential at the position, and he's really strong in pass pro as he is able to both anchor and redirect defenders very well. Tristan Jackson out of Syracuse has really good footwork and quickness. I thought he showed at the combine during the throwing sessions that we were privy to how well he tracks the football. He's very comfortable in adjusting to the ball and catching over his shoulders. I think he still has some upside. And I'm sensing a theme here with the Rams. They want explosive players, and cornerback Levonta Taylor out of Florida State is another explosive talent that they brought in as an undrafted free agent. He drives on the football really well and has good instincts for the position. I think he's an ideal core special teamer type candidate. Xavier Jones out of SMU reminds me a lot of Spencer Ware. He runs with good pad level and shows good quickness and shiftiness for the position. I like how he has a nose for the football, or for the end zone, scoring 45 rushing touchdowns in his career, with 23 of them coming this past season. Cornerback Tyreek McGee out of Georgia was one of the best corners at the Tropical Bowl this past January. I thought he was outstanding during the week of practices. He's a slot corner that has a good chance to make the roster. I like Jonah Williams' game out of Weber State. He was one of the top defensive ends in the FCS. He consistently drew double teams every Saturday, but still showed a variety of ways to be disruptive and end up in the backfield. Another talented FCS prospect and linebacker, Christian Roseboom from South Dakota State. He stood out all week at the NFLPA Bowl, and I think he's a solid blitzer who blitzes with a purpose. Quarterback Josh Love of San Jose State is a very good rhythmic passer coming off of play action. He showed growth every season at San Jose State and throws the deep ball really well. I also believe he fits really well within this offense. And running back James Gilbert out of Kansas State plays a lot like current Rams tailback John Kelly. At the College Gridiron Showcase All-Star event, I thought he showed his ability to be even more of a threat in the passing game as well. And Michael Hoyt out of Brown was drafted in the first round of the CFL draft just this past month. And when you watch him play, you can see why. He runs a 4.6 and shows very good change of direction skills to pursue the ball carrier. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops over the summer, which could be the difference in him staying in the States or going up to play for the Ottawa Redblacks. I gave the Rams an A+ for their draft. Just a great job all the way around in adding both talent and talented depth. It was even more impressive when you think about the fact that they didn't have a first-round selection this year, so the Rams do a great job of both identifying and acquiring talent.